Hello, everyone. This is roopert83. I'm going to be doing two categories here back to back. The first one is going to be Lost Levels D-4 Warpless with Luigi, and the second one will be SMB2 All Levels, All Characters, meaning that I will play through the entire game with each character. So essentially, I beat it 4 times, once with each character. So the first one is D4 Warpless. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Luigi does have different physics in this game. He jumps higher, slides farther, and he accelerates a little slower than Mario does in this game. So there's pros and cons to using him. Most people that run this game use Mario, but there are some folks that like to run as Luigi. This is a pretty brutal game, so the likelihood of me having a few deaths here and there is fairly likely, but I'm hoping to beat it in under 45 minutes. If I'm able to do it under 40 minutes, I'll actually be pretty pleased with that. If anyone in the chat, because I am reading the chat, if anybody has questions about this game or the next game, just let me know and I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. So I intentionally jump backwards into the flagpoles, so you'll see me do that on most levels. And the reason is he doesn't have, when he gets to the bottom of the flagpole, he doesn't have to switch sides. He's already on the right hand side of it, so that saves a little bit of time. And we'll try to. I don't do fire stress with Luigi a whole lot, but we'll try at least for a little bit. And I missed. Nice. I missed. We'll try that again. There we go. Well, I tried to press duck there and I didn't do it in time. I'm still waiting for the coffee to kick in. I'll blame it on being a little sleepy, but wow, really? We'll just do small for now, actually. Oh my god. Is this game really as difficult as its reputation for casual play? It can be pretty brutal in spots. I think the original Famicom Disk System version of this game is tougher than this one, but both of them are pretty tough. Yeah, that is true. It wasn't released in the U.S. and Europe because I can't remember the guy's name, but he worked for Nintendo of America, and he was the person that played and tested the games, and he got this one, and he deemed that it was too difficult for the North American market. And to be honest with you, considering how times were then, that they were trying to recover from the video game crash, I guess, if you will, of the early 80s that they probably made the correct decision on this. Because I'm trying to think, you know, if I had this game, like the original FDS version, as a kid, I probably would have been extremely frustrated with it. So I think they actually did make the right call on that. And, you know, that's just my personal opinion, but I think they made the right call on that. And some of the things that make the original a little tougher is it has like the same game over system that the original SMB1 does, where if you game over part of the way through a world or most of the way through the world, you go back to the first level in that world. And this one, just specifically this one on the All-Stars version, if you game over, then you get to start the same level back over. Whoops. So that one helps with the difficulty on this one a little bit, because you don't have to keep repeating levels back over. They also give you a few more lives to start with on this one, and you don't have as many issues with things despawning on this version. But probably at this point, I'm actually much more comfortable with this game through a lot of it using small Luigi. So we'll probably do most of the game as small Luigi. I can do fire strats, but there's some levels where that becomes really difficult. Mostly the castle levels, because it's a little more enclosed and you have to do a lot of duck jumps and things like that. So I'll just go with what I'm more comfortable with, and we'll just stay small for most of it. There's a few levels I'll probably pick up a power-up, but just for a little extra insurance on being able to make it through. I got a bad pattern there. The water level is actually really trolly in this game, including this one. So sometimes they'll give you good patterns. I got a bad pattern there. That's much better. Yeah, second time around was a lot better. Is either small or fire strats definitively faster. So technically, if you're good with fire strats, it's faster. Because, I mean, you can shoot some things out of the way, and you can kill Bowser with fire, which that always saves time. If you're efficient enough at it to make it worth it. And this also applies to SMB1 as well. If you fire kill Bowser in a relatively quick fashion, you're going to save time over just hitting the axe. And the reason for that is when you hit the axe and Bowser's still alive, you have to wait for the bridge collapsing animation to happen. But if you fire kill him and then touch the axe, it immediately starts scrolling the screen over to do the little Toad cutscene. So if you're pretty efficient at it, like if you're pretty fast with the fire kill, you can say that alone can save 2 to 3 seconds per world, roughly. Is this harder than the NES version? I think technically the FDS version, but I think that version is more difficult. But this one's still pretty tough. So as far as how the fireworks work in this game, it's a little different than SMB1. So for this one, to get fireworks, the last digit of the coin count and the last digit of your timer when you touch the flagpole has to be the same digit. And if it's an even number, you get 6 fireworks. If it's an odd number, you get 3. And actually going a little further with that, if your coin count's a multiple of 11 and your last digit of the timer is also that same digit, you'll get a 1-up along with the fireworks. There's actually the hitboxes are more accurate. That's the way I'd put it. More accurate in this version. There are a few other differences though. Ooh, nice bullet bill. So a few other differences. It's one of the water levels. There's like a long string of like coral that doesn't exist in this one, and it does exist in the original version. How the Bowsers in the letter worlds, well, aside from World D, so worlds A, B, and C. In the FDS version, he only shoots fireballs, but he throws hammers in this version, so that part's different. And also in this version, you have far fewer issues with. A little close. Come on, Bowser. There we go. So there are some differences between the two versions. I guess one of the notable levels that's a lot better in this version for despawns is C3, which is, well, if you haven't seen the letter worlds, it's basically the same as 7-3, if you've seen that, where you have to jump on the green springboards across the whole level, or most of it anyway. In the original FDS version, there's also Lakitu that's in that level, and that actually can cause... Oh, I missed. So if I actually hit that Koopa at the right moment, I could do a super jump, and I wouldn't have. I could just land on top of the wall there. But I missed it. No big deal. But that can cause some despawns with the springboards, and in pretty much for that level, if the springboards despawn, you can't complete the level. You just have to take a death essentially. So thankfully, that's not as huge of a problem in this version. It can still happen. There's still a few levels of where that can still happen, but... Hey, what's up, Naxo and Bear Down? Hope you guys are doing well. See if we can get a little super jump here. Yep. This level, I don't particularly enjoy this level. There's no checkpoint for this one. And the bullet bills can be rather trolly, so I'll hope that they give us something decent. Ooh, alright. We got it. Sometimes, especially when you bounce on that Koopa, sometimes that bullet bill is going to be just right where you're trying to land, and you'll run into it in midair, which thankfully I was able to navigate around that this time. Yeah, we'll play it safe. Nintendo just kind of does what it feels like. I mean, that's true. But and I guess as far as the topic of the US or the US SMB2, I actually like that game a lot, which I'm getting ready to play it after this one. But I feel like it's really split. People either love SMB2 or they hate it. But I'm one of the people who actually really enjoyed SMB2, and I think part of the reason I like it is because it's quite a bit different from the rest of the NES Mario games. Okay, Blooper, you can move along now. All right, it wasn't too bad. We'll get some fireworks here because I wasn't paying attention. What's up, Barnell? Now that we're in World 6, Bowser's going to throw hammers until... Well, he's going to throw hammers through the rest of the game. So... Short of that jump just a little bit. That's a pretty quick death. Need more coffee. Alright, hopefully I don't get trolled here. Sometimes when you're trying to pick up that star, the fish will kind of come up out of nowhere and snipe you trying to grab the star. So, fortunately that did not happen there. That's a little frustrating when that happens, but the RNG is a little nicer to me. What does the D-4 category stand for? So that means I play through the whole game Warpless, and also I play all the letter worlds as well. So after you beat World 8, there's World 9, and then there's Worlds A, B, C, and D. So I complete all the levels in the game. So the last level in the game is D4. So that's what that means. Slow jump. I didn't get enough speed, so we'll wait on this one. I can skip some of those springs, but I didn't have enough speed, so we'll just wait that one out. Come on. I don't think it's gonna make it. To skip this one, I have to land like really on the very far right side of that springboard, so didn't quite make it. So this is the 7-4, especially with Luigi, can be very painful sometimes, and sometimes it goes okay. I think I may try to pick up a mushroom here, just in case. The Bowser fight at the end of this one's particularly difficult because you got Bowser throwing hammers and you also have a fire bar that's kind of in the way. It's right in front of him as well. So we'll see if we can make it to the end with the power up, and that's a free damage boost to get through him. This level can kill a lot of runs, especially as a Luigi player. Oh. Clip through the wall. I didn't get that one. That's fine. That's what that's for. Is this the only 2D Mario with win? As far as I know, yeah. Which I probably should know because I run just about all the 2D Mario games. Big Luigi does have a bigger hitbox than small Luigi, yeah. Double bounce on the Koopa. No, the world record's the estimate. Let me try that again. The estimate for my run is 45 minutes. Now, that's a bit of an overestimate of what I typically do. The world record for Luigi is 36 minutes and 40 or 50 some seconds. I can't remember the seconds off the top of my head. My PB is 3850 something, I believe. This level isn't too bad if you keep running and you don't accidentally hit the Kaizo blocks right above the Hammer Bros. So that 83 went pretty well. But yeah, there's a lot of hidden blocks in this level that kind of troll you. Let's see if we can get this little quick jump here. There we go. That's kind of a tough jump there. Why not Fire Luigi? So Fire Luigi is technically faster, but it is quite a bit more difficult to use Fire Luigi, especially in the castles. Like the outside levels are not bad, but the castles are particularly difficult because you have to do a lot of duck jumps, and it takes a lot more to go fast in those levels. And while I do sometimes run fire strats, I'm not nearly as consistent with those as I am with small Luigi for most of it. So I started off doing fire strats and I lost it pretty quickly, so we just went back to what I'm more consistent and comfortable with, which is small Luigi for most of it. Oh, thanks, Bowser. Alright, done with 8-4, so we'll move on to World 9 and then the later worlds. This game indeed did Kaizo blocks before Kaizo was cool. I aim for the top of the flagpole just because, or does it make a difference? So it actually does make a difference. The reason for that is, so pretty much in all cases, like, you have to wait for the flag to come all the way down to the bottom. But if you grab the flagpole at the top, Mario or Luigi, whichever you're playing as, will actually dismount the flagpole at a little higher ground, so he doesn't like walk off the, he dismounts a little higher up on the flagpole when it goes all the way down, so that can save you a little bit of time. It doesn't always save you time, it just depends on the situation. But it can save you a little bit of time there, yeah. But yeah, the short answer to that is it's faster to grab the top of the flagpole, just by a little bit. So that's why I go for that. And then also jumping backwards into the flagpole for this game in particular, that also saves a little time because he doesn't have to switch sides when he gets to the bottom of the flagpole. So both of those save a little bit of time. World 9. World 9 is a really weird world. If you haven't seen World 9 in the original version, it looks a lot crazier than this one, because of the color schemes that they use. So it's pretty weird in that version. I mean, it's kind of weird in this version too, but and if you're wondering if this actually says anything, these blocks, it says thank you in Japanese. Alright, so on to the later worlds. Yeah, sometimes I get a bad Koopa that's moving the other direction, but I didn't that time, but we played it safe. Okay, this is scary, and that's why. I didn't have enough speed there, so we'll get to do it again. Aww, I didn't jump high enough. Yeah, the later worlds, some of these are pretty difficult. And there's the bad Koopa I was talking about. All right, let's try this again. There we go. That's better. Yeah, there are no checkpoints at all in the later worlds, which actually, that's one other difference between this and the FTS version. That I forgot to mention with the later worlds is in the FTS version, that's actually, I guess, one part that makes it a little easier in the original version aside from just about everything else being more difficult, is you actually do have some checkpoints in. Oh my god. That did not go as planned, but we made it. But there are checkpoints in some of the levels in the later worlds in the original version. So this is one level where the springs can still despawn, and it didn't despawn, but that spring right there, if it actually despawns and you land on where the spring is supposed to be, you'll get locked into place there, and you pretty much have to save and quit at that point, because you can't get off that springboard, or where that springboard would be. That has happened to me in runs a few times, so I've kind of tried to adjust my strats of where I'm not even gonna touch the section where the spring's supposed to be at all, just to prevent that from happening. Come on, Bowser. In the original version, you have to beat the game, not Warpless, but you have to beat the game 8 times, not all at the same time, because there's a save. It does save your progress on the original, but you have to beat the game 8 times to unlock the later worlds in the original. For this version, you have to beat it Warpless to unlock World 9, but you can still go to the later worlds after beating the game once in this one. So that operates a little differently. And also for the original version, to access the later worlds after you've beat it 8 times, you have to hold A when you press start on the player select screen. So it works a little differently in that version. So here's the last water level, and hopefully the patterns will be nice. Whoops. Once you get to a certain point, you can't swim up anymore, and I got down a little too far to try to be able to make it past that cheap. And, yeah, it didn't work out so well. Oh. Come on. I'm getting a few unfavorable enemy patterns here. Alright. And there's the 1-up, because I got a multiple of 11 and last digit match that did the digit on the coin count. Pog cheap. This one looks like it's a maze level, but it's actually not. We'll move on to World C. One thing that's kind of interesting about this game is it actually seems a little, in a lot of places, it seems a little easier to play if you go fast. Like, this game punishes you less in some situations if you go fast, particularly with the Hammer Brothers. Because just about all of them, if you go fast, you could just jump through the arc of their hammers, if you know, if you're paying close attention and know how to approach it. But if you sit there and wait on them, it becomes much more difficult. So. Alright, C3. This one's just like 7-3, except we've got this guy. Alright, that should be good enough to skip that springboard and barely land on the edge. There we go. Yeah, the Hammer Bros do charge you in this. Well, if you wait long enough in the original Mario 1, they will charge you, but they kind of charge you immediately in this one. So this one's like 7-4, except it's got a few more difficult things. So there's an extra fire bar there. And we'll get the mushroom. That, making it through that with Big Luigi's actually pretty tough. That's fine. Being able to damage boost through that's pretty nice because, you know, that fire bar really makes that Bowser like the most difficult one in the game in my opinion. So we're on to the last world. Let's see if I can manipulate these Hammer Bros to be nice, so they'll jump up there. Okay, that actually went pretty well. So we'll pick up this mushroom for a potential damage boost if I get a bad Hammer Bro pattern. And yeah, I got hit by him. Let's wait that out. D2 is by far the easiest in all of World D. Except for that jump's a little tricky, but the rest of it's not that bad. And then we get into D3, which is sometimes very chaotic. Sometimes it's not bad. But the first chaotic thing we have to do is pick up the mushroom that's over here. You got all these cannons around here. I jumped too early. That's why that is not a lot of fun to have to pick up that mushroom. I don't have to pick it up, but it's usually a pretty good idea if you can actually get it. So we got it this time. And that's why we get the mushrooms for those Hammer Brothers there. Sometimes you can make it through without taking a hit, but you never really know till you get there. Ah, bad bullet bill pattern. That part's a little tricky too. Come on. This is probably not good news. Oh, no, we made it. Okay, we got a good pattern on that one. Alright, got it this time. Yeah, you can manipulate those at the beginning of. Almost didn't make that. In the beginning of D1. So especially if you're Luigi, you can kind of do a jump there, like right before they spawn on the screen, and you can more often than not get them to kind of jump up, so you can just run under that, because it's a real pain if that one's on the bottom. But yeah, you can manipulate those a bit. Alright, and we got a 41-45. Considering I had a really rocky start to this, so it's actually that's not bad. So coming up next is Super Mario Brothers 2, the other one. All levels, all characters. So basically what that means is I'm going to play through the game 4 times each with an individual character. So all the way through with Mario, all the way through with Luigi, and so forth. So once I'm given the green light, I think I got to switch over real quick. But once they give me the green light, we'll start with that one. So hang tight.